Hello, Tar Heel Nation. Welcome back to another episode, UNC Hoops Talk podcast. I'm your host, Dan DeWitt. So glad you are watching, listening, however you're taking the podcast. And we're here to kind of talk about how the Tar Heels turned it around. Is it just the opponents that they are playing at the moment? We're gonna jump into that, but I want to thank you guys for listening, watching, always supporting the podcast. We're recording this. If people do catch it live on YouTube, a little bit different. We're going during the day here. I had some time and wanted to get in kind of a short one here, just to kind of talk as we head into some big games coming up. But yeah, thank you guys for always listening and watching. And I always kind of say it, and so this is kind of the best time as ever because we don't have a set schedule. I kind of pop on when I can or whenever. So if you are not subscribed, to make sure you are subscribed, especially if you'd like to join a live show and leave comments and stuff like that. Like 300 here, who says my guy. If you'd like to do that, make sure you go to YouTube, UNC Hoops Talk, and subscribe, hit the little notification bell so you should get a notification when I do go live and you can join. But otherwise, I just hope that you are subscribed wherever you do take in the podcast apps or whatever. We've gotten some quite a few actually more subscribers on YouTube. I love to see it. We're kind of climbing slowly but surely. And for those that are maybe new listeners to the podcast, if you are getting anything from this podcast or just want to support the podcast, I do have a Patreon as well. Go to patreon.com/UNC Hoops Talk. It's in the description below as well. But go and support. Give me $1, $5, whatever you can. It all goes back into the show and making it better and improving it and stuff. So I appreciate that as well. But yeah, I just thank you guys for being here and to jump in here. I kind of the title of this is Has UNC Basketball Figured It Out? Is it just the opponents we're playing or have played here the last couple of games, as the Tar Heels have won 2 in a row, but it's been both at home after being away for so long. Obviously, we were out in Portland, then at Indiana, then we had to turn around and go to Virginia Tech, where we all know the story there. I don't have to recant that one. The last 2 podcasts have been too negative. We're trying to be a little more positive here. So they get a couple of home games. It's just Georgia Tech and Citadel. So again, that's kind of the question here, and we'll get into it as well as some stats and stuff like that. But 300 here is here, and he's ready to go here. So this is, we'll see Saturday. Citadel couldn't punch their way out of a paperweight. They hit some threes. They kept it close. I mean, it was closer than maybe we wanted to, but I don't think that's the biggest difference either. But he does say if we beat number 25 Ohio State, I'll be impressed. I think they actually moved up from 25. I think they might be 23 or something now. So, but yeah, I get it. Obviously, it'll be away from home. He says in Madison Square Garden. He's going to be there. Awesome 300, man. Take some pictures. Enjoy yourselves or yourself. And hopefully the Tar Heels get a win for you. That would obviously be a big win for the Tar Heels, but it's always much better to go to a Tar Heel game and win as opposed to the opposite. I've mostly seen Tar Heel wins. I'm trying to think. Just about every game I've been to, the Tar Heels have won. I think the one loss that I've been to for the Tar Heels, we went for a couple games. It was early in the season. We were playing supposedly cupcakes. Trying to remember who the first game was. It wasn't anybody very good, but that night, and we didn't play very well either. I don't remember what season it. Well, I could go back and find out. I'm sure because what happened next. But we didn't play very well. We got the win though, and I was talking with my wife about it, and she's like, oh, what's going to happen? I feel like it was maybe the next day, or maybe there was a day in between. I think it was maybe like a Friday Sunday game or games that we went to, and we were going to both of them. And I said, if they play like this, they're not winning on Sunday. It was Davidson who they played, and sure enough, we came out kind of the same way. We lost to Davidson at home in Chapel Hill. And then, if you don't know, I live in Tennessee. And so Monday morning, we get up to take our flight back from Raleigh to Nashville. And who's waiting at the gate for us there to ride the plane back with us to Nashville? But not Davidson, Belmont. But the entire Belmont team is there. And of course, I went to North Carolina for the weekend. I went, to to the games and stuff. So all of my wardrobe is all Tar Heels. And so I show up in a Tar Heels hat and shirt and stuff, and here's the whole Belmont team sitting there, playing cards and doing whatever, waiting for the plane. So yeah, that that was kind of painful. I got a couple of comments from the guys, but mostly they were pretty nice about it. So yeah, that's kind of my story about it. But that's the only time I've seen the Tar Heels lose that I can remember, unless I blocked them out of my memory. But 300 says he's mostly seen wins too. The only loss was Vegas 2017 when, yeah, I mean that. Oh man, that would be an amazing game to watch. Kentucky and Kentucky and North Carolina going at it in Vegas there for that game. I mean that was the championship year, right? We lost to them when Monk went off in that game, and then we beat him in the Elite Eight, obviously when Luke May hits the shot. So asked, did I stay in the Marriott Courtyard? I don't think so. I don't remember where we stayed. We may have gotten like an Airbnb and stayed somewhere, but I don't remember where we stayed. I mean, that was, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, getting back to these games here. So yeah, obviously Georgia Tech over the weekend. Let's see, what was that? Was that a Sunday? That was Saturday game, right? We get the 75-59 win. We looked a lot better than we had, obviously. We still didn't shoot it very well. We were 3 for 13 from the field, shot 47% from the field overall. We did do better rebounding. We out rebounded them by about 20. Assists, again, we've had some games where we're talking about 4, 5, 6 assists in an entire game. We had 15 this game. So it looked better there. We were led by Armando Baycott with 21 and 13. And RJ Davis also had a double-double, 22 and 10 rebounds with 3 assists for him as well. So great games by both of those guys. I believe this is the game where, yeah, this had to have been the game where Caleb, I think, got it. Didn't get into foul trouble because this says he has 0 fouls, but did get benched a little bit in the first half. And Seth Trimble came in, gave us some great minutes actually. And then Caleb responded a little bit in the second half, ended up with 10 points, had 5 assists, but still 4 turnovers. Shot 1 for 6 from 3, 4 for 12 overall. So not a great game for him, but just the way he responded was better. And yeah, we again just looked better. And there was moments in this game where it was like, that looks like North Carolina basketball. That's recognizable. We got a few fast break points. Again, the assists, moving the ball around. And then at the end, kind of feel good story. Jalen Washington gets in, actually scores. It's been documented already how much they celebrated with him, poured water on him in the locker room after the game. But just kind of a much needed win, and I think maybe some of the weight lifted off of the guys' backs because of 4 losses in a row, and it's like, gosh, are we going to win again? And so obviously good opponent at the right time there. We get Georgia Tech at home. And like I said, there was moments. I don't know that we looked great against Georgia Tech, but there was definitely moments again that is like, this is Carolina basketball. And then, the Citadel came to town last night, which would have been Tuesday night. And much better. Obviously, again, we're talking about, with the title of this podcast, is it kind of us or is it the opponents we've played? But we get Biscuits 100 points to 67 for them. They stuck around with some 3-pointers early, but we kind of put the brakes or took it to them. I don't know, whatever you want to say. And I think kind of the storyline out of this one is how many guys played and contributed in this game. So just going back to Georgia Tech really quickly, minutes wise, all the starters were still over 30. Pete Nance had 30. It was the lowest starter. Caleb Love 31, 35 for Leaky, 34 for Mondo, 35 for RJ. And then we had Seth with 15, Puff with 13. And then it was Tyler Nickel with 5 and Jalen with 2 in the Georgia Tech team. Whereas you go to Citadel, the highest, Caleb Love had 29 minutes, and that was the highest. Armando 26, Pete 21, RJ 21, Leaky only 14 minutes. And there was some foul trouble. He got 2 kind of quick early ones, which limited some of his minutes. But you look at Tyler Nickel, 19 minutes. Dontrez Styles, that's right. Dontrez Styles had 15 minutes in this game. Seth Trimble, 21. And then even Justin McCoy 7. And again, some of these were the garbage minutes late. But Justin McCoy 7 minutes, Jalen Washington 6 minutes, Puff 7 minutes, which is kind of surprising in the other way. There, he had been getting all the minutes. Now this one, where there's a blowout, only 7 minutes. Will Shaver got 5, and then a lot of the walk-ons and stuff got a couple minutes at the end as well. But um, so big production. I think it said somebody said we had 40 points, 42 points, something like that off the bench. Tyler Nickel led that with 16. He was 3 for 8. He took 8 3-pointers, 3 for 8 from three for Tyler Nichols, 16 points. Dontrez Styles, 9 points, 6 rebounds. Jalen Washington, 6 points. Justin McCoy hit a three. Seth Tremble, what did he ended up with 2 points, but 5 assists, 3 rebounds. As far as what we were leading, again, going back to starters, Caleb 17, 6 assists, 0 turnovers, which is awesome. Pete Nance, 16.7 rebounds. Armando, 14-11 to get another double-double there. And I think they said he's now got the most double-figure rebounding games in Carolina history. And then, Leaky only played 14 minutes, 5 points. RJ only took 2 shots. Oh, wait, no, that's Leaky. Where's RJ? RJ, 6 shots. Again, still not that many, but 6 points on 6 shots. And even Caleb, in 17 points, only took 10 shots in this game, 4 for 6 from 3. So again, getting, I think, better 3-point shots to where he then shoots a better percentage. And another big storyline coming out of this one, we talked about it, 15 assists in the Georgia Tech game. This one, 24 assists for our guys. And like I said, we didn't shoot the ball as well against Georgia Tech. Against Georgia Tech. This one, we were 15 for 31. So pretty much right at 50%. For the game in here, and looked much better, so much more like North Carolina basketball in this one. But again, I kind of ask, is that because it's the Citadel? And we'll quickly find out here as we look forward. Before we look forward to what's coming up for the Tar Heels, Garrett has joined us in the comments as well. Looked a lot better the last 2 games, no doubt about that. Starting to figure things out. Awesome to see the bench produce last night. We have talent on the roster, and I think that's what everybody's been saying, is like, we just want to see what we got. And 300 kind of responds, we played bums, but again, it wasn't like we had the game just blown out and then we put in subs. I think Hubert, again, maybe he's taking heat from me, he's seeing some of the press, or he's just like, hey, stuff's not working, we got to play the bench. But guys were going in before it was a blowout, before the game was handled. Like I said, they stuck around at the beginning of this game a little bit with some of their threes. It's not like we thought we were going to lose or anything, but the score was kind of closer than maybe what it should have been, and guys were starting to come in. Styles came in. Obviously Seth has been getting the minutes and stuff like that. So 300 says we need to beat a good team like Ohio State. We'll get into that. So Garrett kind of responds to, we did early this season too, and we've played a lot better. And we don't need a name call, guys, but yeah, I mean, that is the difference, though. I think you're right. Is we played, I don't know if we want to say bums. I think it's come out that even James Madison and Charleston and some of those teams we played earlier are having good seasons, are beating or playing guys really well, but the bench wasn't even getting a chance. At least this one, they got a chance, and now they are producing. So you can't say like, well, I gave you an opportunity and you were terrible when I gave you that opportunity. Guys produced, and hopefully that means it will go into more playing time, more opportunities for them, and we'll see that. And like Garrett says, we just have to play them. Guys need to get kind of into the flow of the game. Guys have to get their rhythm and get used to playing and stuff. Especially as we get into ACC play. It's kind of like, we said with Jalen coming back, we can't just throw him to the Wolves in an ACC game. He's got to get some of these games. And the other guys do too, not just because he's coming off an injury. Others guys got to get used to playing and getting acclimated playing with the starters, and, guys figure out roles and stuff like that. So they won't all be this easy. They won't all look like this. And I guess that's kind of my point. Is we do have to temper our excitement a little bit because of who we played. I'm sure it felt good to be playing in the Smith Center as well, as opposed to in Portland, in Bloomington, Bloomingdale, wherever Indiana is, and in Blacksburg as well. to be back in front of Carolina fans in the Smith Center on rims you shoot all the time. Um, we'll see. So 300 says, I'll wait till Saturday to tell you my opinion. These two teams are garbage. Um, Again, yes, they are, but we didn't play this well against the bad teams early in the season as well. So again, there's both sides to it. It's great to see us playing this good, but I do think we have to temper our excitement a little bit. I, the other part of it is confidence. When we're losing four, guys just weren't confident. You could hear it in the post game when they were talking to reporters. It just isn't fun. Now we get out and again, that's what looked different about this one is we get out and run on the break. We're getting fast break dunks, fast break layups, open threes because of it. We're starting to move the ball. We see that with the assist numbers going from 4, 5, and 6 in an entire game to Caleb had 6 assists last night against the Citadel. The ball just moved. There's times the ball went around the outside, boom, 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 dumped it inside to a wide open guy for a dunk. Yeah, 300 says Hubert knew that we could beat these guys with our bench. Good teams. He's playing starters hard. I mean, you expect the starters to get the most points, but I think we all expected to beat James Madison, Gardner Webb, all those people, and he still didn't give them a chance. And I don't think the bench is necessarily even what made the difference. I think it's more of how we played last night. Hubert kind of even said the emphasis got to Armando running rim to rim as fast as he can. And I think that makes a difference. I mean, that's Carolina basketball when we run people. Um, yeah. So, we 300 says we got Michigan and Ohio State. We should win both games if we figured it out. You're right, and that's where we go next is what's coming up. But Garrett says this team seems a little more confident too. Love to see it. Absolutely. For Tyler Nickel to shoot 8 threes. I mean, I didn't even notice that until I looked at the box score just now. 8 threes from him. And think about that. Tyler Nichols shot 8 threes. I get it. It was a blowout. He's not going to necessarily get pulled. He maybe felt a little bit more freedom, but he shot 8 threes. RJ Davis shot 6 shots in the game. RJ was 2 for 4 from 3. Tyler Nichols was 3 for 8. I mean, if you would have told me that leading into this game is Tyler Nichols shot 8 threes and RJ will shoot 6 shots, I said, well, RJ must have got hurt early in the game or something like that. But yeah, if we can get him going, get him confident, and get the other guys confident in him as well. Same thing with Tremble. Nichols says Nichols my guy. Tremble too. I mean that's the thing. We got to get those guys rolling, and the other guys confident in it as well. So it's when Caleb comes out and Seth comes in. It's not like, oh, we got a big drop off. It's okay. Maybe we play a little bit different style. We whatever, but we don't drop off necessarily. So I think that's what we need to get at. And again, that's what we've been I know I have for a couple of years now is we got to develop that bench. I mean, Styles, he was getting rebounds. He had 6 rebounds. He was going after rebounds last night. I don't think he's necessarily going to be a shooter. People have said, he misses all his shots when he goes in or whatever. He's not in there to be a shooter. I don't think you put Dontrez Styles in to shoot threes. I think he's athletic enough to get some offensive rebounds and put back dunks, get some defensive rebounds, all that stuff. So that's more of what we need. Our bench doesn't have to come in and score a ton, hit open shots, make hustle plays. I think that's why Puff was getting the minutes. I don't know why Puff only got 7 minutes last night. Even the game before that against Georgia Tech, it was down a little bit. It seemed kind of odd. So I don't know what's going on there. He hasn't really been producing offensively. He's taken some, not necessarily taking bad shots, but missed badly on some of the shots he's taken. So I don't know if his confidence is hurting or what's going on there, but something is going on with that. And these other guys hopefully have gained some confidence now. Obviously Dunn is out now, but when he comes back, I hope he gets right back into that rhythm and gets those minutes and, has that confidence as well, because that's what we need. If we could have, our 5 starters and then we have Seth Tremble, Tyler Nickel, DeMarco Dunn, Dontrez Styles come off the bench. I mean, we're 9 deep there. And that's bringing some athleticism. That's bringing different style of play off the bench. Scorers. Jalen Washington would be another one once he, as he continues to get into the rhythm. So seriously, we should be 8 to 10 deep easily, and that's guys getting meaningful minutes, not just the 5, 6, garbage minutes here and there and that kind of stuff. So Garrett says, love to see us playing a little more in transition too. Yeah, I mean, I think it makes a huge difference. I said it when we were going through the stretch, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I was like, we get some easy buckets and our offense doesn't look this poor. I don't think our offense necessarily is spectacular now all of a sudden. I think it's more we're getting out and run, we're getting some open shots that way. And opponent does have something to do about that. I think that's kind of the biggest thing is um, when we see, Ohio State now, their defense is going to be completely different than what the Citadel's was. And so, but that's why you have to get out and run and get some easy buckets, get guys confidence, get them into the flow of the game so they knock down some of those shots instead of dribbling the ball or not really moving the ball around. And then late shot clock, we got to throw up a contested one or you pass to somebody and not quite ready and they don't knock it down. It's not in the flow. So, yeah. Again, there's both sides. I try to stick right in the middle of it. Like we're glad that we got the win. We look so much better, but look who we beat. Now we got to go prove it. And so that's where we need to move next. Is it's already been mentioned, but this Saturday, December 17th, we go to New York, play Madison Square Garden on CBS. It's the CBS Sports Classic against Ohio State. It's a 3 p.m. Eastern tip on CBS, obviously. But yeah, I think it's number 23 ranked. I know they were at 25. I believe they're at 23 now. But it's going to be a tough game. Obviously, we have the talent to win. It's how do we play now? We're going away from Chapel Hill, and so we got to be able to do that. We got to be able to be mentally tough, and hopefully Baycott's shoulder continues. I've seen him rub it still a little bit, and so he's got to be healthy. But I think it helps that Georgia Tech was a kind of a shorter team as far as the post goes. Citadel didn't have really any threat inside. Um, Ohio State's big guy is very talented, but he is a little bit shorter. I think he's like 6'8" as well. So Mondo should have the advantage there, along with Pete Nance as well. We haven't really talked about Pete Nance in these games. I think he's okay with that. He just trying to blend in and stuff, but hopefully picking his spots of where he can um, be assertive and where he just kind of gets the job done. But yeah, Armando and Pete should will hopefully control the paint. We get out and run a little bit. We share the ball, and then I think our biggest question mark still is defense. I don't think I know we only let Citadel score 67 points, but I don't think it was necessarily because of our defense. Like I said early in the game, they were still knocking down threes to keep it close. So that's my biggest question mark is we really got to lock in defensively. I think Seth Trimble helps tremendously with that. Um, I think Jalen Washington can again once he gets his legs under him, just being agile, um, lengthy, that kind of stuff. So again, yeah, big question mark here Saturday against Ohio State. It's going to be a tough one. We have the talent to win. I don't know if we're going to be predicted to win. 300 says New York City is Tar Heel home. We're going to be deep in the Garden, and it says it'll be a home game for us. Hopefully, crowd wise, I mean, I think we hopefully will travel better than Ohio State. Remember, there's also going to be Kentucky and UCLA fans kind of in the building. They're a part of this as well. I don't know how that all works as far as seating and all that stuff, but Kentucky fans will travel as well. So, they're not going to be cheering for us necessarily. So, yeah, it'll be a good game Saturday. I think it's a big one. We've said it on the podcast before. Like we need some big time Power 5 wins. We have up to this point we've beaten nobody that's really going to help us as far as the tournament goes. Ohio State, Michigan here is going to be the last non-conference chances we have, and then in conference we got kind of Duke, Virginia. Virginia Tech, if we play them again, Notre Dame has looked pretty decent. There's other decent teams, but a non-conference, these are the last two chances we got. Let's see. 300 says, hope we got the last game. Yeah, I don't know. It would be, I think we're probably the first game with a 3 o'clock tip. I'm guessing it would be 3 and like 6. Otherwise, you're looking at probably noon and 3. Says, or else every school is going against us. I don't know. I think we're probably the first game, but I don't know that for sure. I don't have the schedule for the CBS Sports Classic there. But after that, we go Saturday to Wednesday, December 21st. Is the Jumpman Invitational in Charlotte, North Carolina. So that will be, the home game for us. This is the Michigan game. It'll be on ESPN. It's a 7 p.m. Eastern tip. And again, another big guy there. They got some talent on the wings as well. I think backcourt we have the advantage. But if I remember right, Hunter Dickinson kind of got the best of Armando in the last game. So hopefully he remembers that, and he's got some something to prove against Hunter Dickinson. And again, we need that just quality win against a Power 5 team. That's mostly what we're going to get here out of these next two games. If we get it, if we have figured it out, like Garrett said, if we have figured, or no, maybe it's 300. If we do have it figured out, we need to win these two games, and they will be big for us tournament wise. Not necessarily if we're going to make the tournament, but seeding for sure. Yeah. So 300 says we do play first at 3 p.m. That's kind of what I figured. But I mean, these guys have been in the tournament. They made that run. It shouldn't really matter if everybody's against us. They need to come together as a core, play like we've just been playing, move the ball around. I mean, we have so much talent. Just listening to some of the post game too, guys are like, oh, there's all these guys can do all these different things. When we share the ball and they have to guard everybody, so much tougher on them. And maybe that's why Leaky got some less minutes, is because you give other guys confidence and just offensively to get us going. I think Leaky's got to contribute offensively as well, so that they have to be honest with him at least and go out and guard him to open stuff up. But we move that ball around. There's so many scorers on this team that it should be hard on the other team to stop us. So Garrett said we smashed Michigan last year. Didn't we got crushed by like 20 by Michigan last year? I don't think we smashed it. This is early last year when we were terrible. I'm pretty sure we lost by 20. Yeah, I think Dickinson, or whatever his last name, Hunter Dickinson. I don't know what it is. I think he handled Baycott, and like I said, I'm pretty sure we lost by 20 to Michigan last year. Because again, it would have been before Christmas, before the new year, before Christmas. I think it was the ACC Big Ten Challenge, right? I think it was at our place even. They came in and beat us pretty badly. So 300 says no, we beat Michigan. I was at that game. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong. I want to look this up really quickly because I could have swore that we lost by 20 to Michigan. All right, I'm looking it up here. Let it refresh. Let's see. So Purdue we lost, and Tennessee we lost. All right, we did. I was wrong. We won by 20, 72 to 51. We beat Michigan home. All right, you guys called me out here on my own podcast and proving me wrong here. Just since I have it, I was going to pull up Hunter Dickinson. Played 18 minutes, so he didn't do anything. 4 points, 5 rebounds. All right, I was completely wrong. They had Musa Diabate, whatever his name is, 13 points, and Eli Brooks had 11 points, and that was about it for them. So Armando had 11 and 14. Caleb had 22. Dawson Garcia, remember that name? 14 points. RJ 9. Brady Manick 9. All right. Yeah, Curran Walton, 17 minutes in that game, gave us absolutely nothing. 2 rebounds, went over 4, sorry. A foul and an assist from Kerwin. So, yeah, all right. I was wrong. We destroyed Michigan last year. You're right, Garrett. We won by 20. That was, I guess that was one of the moments we thought, oh, we got it figured out. We smashed them, huh? And then that's what it is Michigan then looked terrible as well. So 300 says it was packed and the building was shaking. And Garrett says we held on to that win forever. So apparently I didn't. I blended in with all the other blowouts last year. We got Tyler G in the house as well now. Big big next few games. Absolutely. So after the Michigan game, I should be able to podcast again. Um, and that'll probably be the last one for the year because I think we go Michigan on the 21st and then we come back the 30th. But I'm going to be out of town from like the 29th to the 2nd of December, or I mean, sorry, 2nd of January. So, well, I'll podcast after the Ohio State game, and that'll be the last one for this year. We'll get into obviously again in January. So, trying to make this a little bit shorter. Already at a half hour. Appreciate you guys for stopping in, commenting, and keeping me straight on how much we beat Michigan by last year. So it's going to be Hunter Dickinson that has something to prove against Armando in that game. But two big games here until the next podcast: Ohio State in Madison Square Garden on Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Tip, and then Michigan on the 21st in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we really need them. We do. I don't necessarily say they're must-win games, but they are big wins for our seeding and tournament and all that stuff. So hopefully the Tar Heels got it figured out. Hopefully we play like we have the last couple of games, really like we did against Citadel. If we can move the ball, I know it was a lesser opponent, but if we can move the ball like that, get out in transition, play our bench like that, we're on our way to being okay. That's for sure. So thank you everybody for listening, for watching on YouTube, however you took it in. Appreciate you guys so much. Let's unite Tar Heel Nation here, get a couple of big wins here before I talk to you again. But that's what I got for you here. Until next time, go Heels.